My name is Brooke Bacon, Marketing Lead with GSI, and I am also very pleased to welcome our main presenter, Joe DiPietro, Sales Director from Preferred Strategies. And Joe has been helping customers get the most from their JD Edwards ERP systems for 2 decades. Before joining Preferred Strategies in 2017, he was a sales executive at ArcTools for over 14 years. And at Preferred Strategies, Joe partners with clients to bring modern BI and reporting to JD Edwards and all business applications while driving true business to all of their customers. Now I want to give you a minute just to review our safe harbor statement. And now for a quick overview of today's meeting, which will last about 60 minutes. First, we'll take a minute to go over a couple of housekeeping items, as well as provide a brief company overview. Then we will turn it over to Joe to get into our main presentation, which will last about 40 minutes. Then we'll take a minute to go over our upcoming educational events, and then we will wrap up with a 10-minute question and answer section. If you would like to submit a question, you can do so through the questions panel at the bottom of the GoToWebinar console window located on the right side of your screen. Please note that all questions will be answered at the end of the presentation. And if you would like to minimize your GoToWebinar console during the presentation, just click the right-facing arrow key on the top left of the console. To input your question, you can click the left-facing arrow key, and then it will pop back out, and then you can input your questions. And now I'd like to give you a brief overview of GSI. GSI is a full-service JD Edwards consulting organization. We are an Oracle Platinum partner that was founded in 2004 and now has over 100 employees. We have offices nationwide and are recognized on the Inc. 5000 list of fastest-growing companies in the U.S., and we specialize in project consulting, managed services, cloud and hosting services, with all of our services backed with a 100% guarantee. We also provide a broad spectrum of business, functional, and technical consulting services for Oracle NetSuite, Oracle Cloud, Salesforce, ServiceNow, and other enterprise applications. In addition, we are a product development company that has many popular products, including Genius, which is our advanced monitoring and performance analytics solution for JD Edwards or any business critical system on any platform. Genesis, which is our load and stress testing application for system design, validation, or expansion for JD Edwards or any web-based business critical system. G Shield, which is our comprehensive security solution for JD Edwards, including password reset and two-factor authentication. Rapid Reconciler, which allows you to effectively manage your inventory, in transit, and RNV reconciliation processes for any version of E1 or World. And Rapid Approval, which is our Salesforce App Exchange solution that streamlines the approval request process. All right, and now I would like to turn it over to Joe for our main presentation.
All right, thanks, Brooke. All right, this is Joe DiPietro. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our session. Let me show my screen here.
And I can see you.
All right. Okay, and can you see my screen now?
I can, yep.
All right, excellent. Excellent. Again, welcome, everybody. My name is Joe DiPietro. I'm going to be walking you through 5 major parts of my presentation today. So hopefully you're going to take a lot of really cool tips and tricks and some information away today. So I'm really going to try to walk you through I'm the sales director, so I'm going to walk you through the experience as a sales director in the day in the life of using Quick Launch. So basically, let me change my slide here. So quick agenda, a little bit about preferred strategies, a little bit about the business intelligence market, little overview on Quick Launch, and I'll go right into a live demonstration, and at the end we'll have some questions. I've also brought in some other members of my team, Adam Krieger and others, to help if they get too technical on me. All right, so really a quick overview of preferred strategies. We've been
Hey,
around this since
hey Joe.
2002.
Hey Joe,
Yes.
real quick, sorry. Do you mind just making your presentation a little bit bigger so we can see it a little? If you go, you just start the slideshow. There you go. There you go. Cool. Thanks, Joe. Sorry.
All right. All right. So it's the presentation, thing. All right. So basically, we've been founded in 2002. So we've been helping companies, JD Edwards customers, with their BI and reporting for over 15 years. We focus on the marketing leader. We do a lot with the Microsoft, with Power BI and the SQL stack. So we're going to be talking today a lot about Microsoft Power BI. We're going to talk about a lot of the accelerators that we've created, some of the pre-built content, calculations, DAX calculations, and other things that we've included into our model. And then we're really about a partnership. So we're a true ISV. We've created the pre-built content to get a JD Edwards customer up and running very, very quickly. But we partner. So we work with customers like partners like GSI to assist us with the customers. We can train our customers. So it's really a blend of delivering the information. If anybody out there follows Gartner, more importantly, the Gartner, the modern BI quadrant, you'll notice that Microsoft Power BI is in the very upper right-hand corner. So really, they're the darling of Gartner. So they're doing everything right, and hence they're in the upper right-hand corner where you want to be on the Gartner quadrant. So very high level. I'm not going to go very technical today, but just a couple sort of technical slides. This one here just demonstrates the 15 years of work, the thousands and thousands of hours that we put into Quick Launch. So some of the key elements is, of the 4,000 tables, we work to rename all the tables into sort of easy English. So we've taken those cryptic table names and turned them into English. We've converted all the Julian dates, so for money, dollars, and dates and things. So we've done a lot of that translation for you already. And this slide here is really it's just a high-level overview of what Quick Launch is all about. We're going to be talking about data preparation. So basically, we offer direct connects. We can connect directly to JD Edwards. We have ODS, which is a mirror. So for the customers that have high transaction of data, they don't want us touching their JD Edwards application, we can mirror that data. And of course, we also can stand up a complete star schema data warehouse. So this is for customers that have maybe complex data, multiple data sources, and we want to combine at the data level. So basically, this is called our approach. And step 2 is our data modeling. So this is our tabular model. It's a Microsoft term. We're using Microsoft licensing to stand up a tabular model. And so what's really cool about this, it's in memory. So we're a lot of technical advantages, but really what's happening, this is where our perspectives live. I'm going to walk you, when I open up Power BI, you're going to see our perspectives. There are modules like AR, AP, HR, payroll, and so forth. We've got over 2,000 calculations in our model and KPIs and things. And then, of course, also what's feeding our model is our sample data set. So we've got Power BI reports, templates, and income statements, balance sheets that we're leveraging with SSRS. We'll get that. We'll uncover that as well. And let me just see. All right. So let me put on, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into a live demonstration. I'm going to log right into Power BI. The first thing I'm going to do is, I know I said I'm the sales director, but I'm going to take a little sidestep. I'm going to go in, log in as a CFO or an executive. And the first thing I want to show you is the KPIs, some of the KPIs that we've created. So bear with me. Let me just change some screens here. I'm not, here we go. All right, so I've logged into Power BI earlier before, just for the sake of speed. So let me just click on our KPIs. So once you open up Microsoft Power BI, there's a lot of things you're not going to see. The Quick Launch brings this workspace element into the quick launch into Power BI. So I've come down here and I've clicked on my KPIs. So I'm going to click into my general ledger KPIs. So you might have heard of a company called Risk Management Associations. They're an organization that analyzes financial reports in companies of all sizes in all types of industries. Well, they've come up with 17 geo-related KPIs that we've added to our model. So I'm bringing you in here today. So basically, this is something that you could pin to your dashboard, and I'll show you that concept in a little bit. But I wanted to share with you that you could pin these to your dashboard and have these readily available at when you open up your console. So really simply stated, if we're looking at this very high level, maybe I just want to see, hey, I'm green, everything is good, life is good. Oh, we got something red here. Let me click on that and let me have this drill down and take a closer look at what's happening. And excuse me one second, I just want to clean up my thing there. Okay, so basically it's taking me down to one of my current ratio KPIs. And basically what this is showing me is current assets divided by current liabilities trending over time. And this is completely customizable. Again, this is a demonstration with demonstration data. We could build this out so it's customized to your business and your organization. But if I click on the glossary, this is going to showcase the 17 KPI. Now, these are GL related KPIs. So we've got things like current ratio, quick ratio. Let me just drill into days receivables. So what am I seeing here? So what I'm basically looking at here is that you could see on this line here, we're running 42.1 days, which is better than my target, which is 43.6. But I'm still up from 38.7 6 months ago. So again, at a snapshot, you can see we're green, things are good, but you can see some trending information there. And again, this is just an example of how we're using Power BI married with Quick Launch to deliver some GL-related KPIs at a quick glance. All right, let's get into the fun stuff. I'm in the sales. I'm not technical. So what I want to kind of share with you today is the ease of use of Quick Launch, our Quick Launch technology combined with Power BI Overview JD Edwards. So my specialty is sales. So I'm going to go here and click on the sales dashboard. And we've got all kinds of reports and things. I'm going to click on that there. So what this brings me to is this is my dashboard. A minute ago, I showed you the KPIs, and I mentioned you could pin those KPIs to your dashboard. So they would live here. So there's some different elements here. There's some data sets, there's some workspaces, all kinds of components can be glued to this dashboard. So you can see I've got some variance charts. I got a pie chart here. Let's drill in and see what's behind the scenes here. So so now I've got my my consumer hat on. I'm gonna later, I'll go into edit mode. I'll hit the edit report button, but right now I'm in the consumer mode. I'm just viewing the data. I'm a sales manager, maybe I have a territory. I just wanna dice and slice, be able to read the data that somebody already has created for me. All right, so what am I seeing here? So first thing I wanna point out is these time slicers. There's time slicers for month to date, quarter to date, year to date, and different year periods. You're going to see this concept throughout most of my presentation today, and I'm going to highlight and showcase the power of those. There are a lot of tabs down below of some sample reports that we have created. I'm not going to, based on time, I'm not going to go through every one of those. I'm going to go through some of the fun ones. But basically, the first thing I want to show you is that right now we're at year-to-date, period 9. What if I click this to, month-to-date and period 8? It's going to dynamically change these numbers on the fly. It's going back into our model. Our model is bringing back these numbers on the fly. So it's really handy if I'm a sales rep and I want to see what I did last quarter, last month, last period, without having to, dial into JD Edwards. So let's kind of walk through my story here. What am I seeing? So first off, we've built these dashboards with some graphics, with some icons here. This is completely customizable. This is just for demonstration periods. But you can see I've got mobile, I've got television, home theater, I've got computing, I've got appliances. A couple things I want to highlight here is I've got here sales amount prior year. I've got things like gross percent profit, and I've got current sales. So it's right at a glance, I've got the information right in front of me. But really, if I'm a sales manager, I want to see, what's going on? What's my story today? So I'm looking at this, and I can see, hey, mobile, I'm up, I'm better than prior year. Same thing, home, TV, theater, I'm up, better than prior year. Computing yet, appliances, I'm $500,000 behind. Let's click on that icon. Let it drill into a deeper view. Let's get a closer view of what's happening in my my territory. So again, a lot of my customers are loving the fact that we have these images here. If you don't like the images, we can custom build something for you. But basically, I'm looking at this same type of time slicers. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, okay, hey, refrigerators, I'm doing okay. I'm glancing through everything else. Hey, let's click on this washers here and let it take us down to the next report. So this happens to be a traditional Power BI chart. And what do I see here? Well, I can see my channel, I can see my my sales, my regions rather, and I can see my customers here. So let's just do some real simple kind of interacting with the data. What types of things can I see here? Well, the first thing I noticed is central. What pops out at me is we're worse off than prior year in central reason. I want to find out why, and I want to do this quickly without having to make a lot of phone calls. I can simply right click, drill down, and this is going to bring me down to the 2 reps that handle this central region. So I've got Robert O'Neill and I've got Jason Lee. So with Robert O'Neill, you can see we're doing slightly better than prior year. Jason Lee, let's look. We're slightly behind. Let me once again right click, drill down, and it's going to take me down to his customers, and I can start to analyze and try to find out what the why is. All right, so let me go to the next tab called product sales. So here I've got a traditional pie chart, I've got a heat map, I've got a scatter chart down below. We'll play with that a little bit later. But basically, what types of things can I do here? So if I come up here, I can click on this button here, and I can actually export this data to a CSV. I can do a PowerPoint or something, or I can actually come down here, just click on Show Data. So maybe I think I goofed up on something, but basically, if somebody doesn't want to see this in a chart format or a graph or a visual, they just want to see some data, they can simply click on that button there. The other thing you can do here is let me click on TV home theater, and it's gonna allow me to selecting here, it's gonna allow me to affect and change the chart I have on the right. So I could have all kinds of information here. Maybe I've got TV and appliances, maybe got channel, maybe I've got other pieces of information. So at a glance, we can quickly click around. All right, sales geography. Let me go to the next tab here. So this one's a fun one. For our sample data, this is a map of North America. If you do business outside of North America and Europe, we can fix these to address your business. But a couple things I want to point out here is for our sample data, we have things like channel, for region, for sales rep, product group. Let me pick on Jason Lee. Maybe I want to see what's going on with Jason Lee. So I can simply click on Jason Lee. It's going to highlight his sales territory, and it's going to highlight on the right some charts that are consistent with Jason Lee. And I can do other things here. I can click on retail, I can click on online. So really I can get a visual perspective of what's happening at a geographical area. And once again, let me stress, we work with you, our preferred strategies teams work with you to define your category codes, to define your business, and we'll populate these charts and graphs with your information. Okay, so the next tab here is called sales trends. Again, I've got a year-to-date, period 9. Maybe I just want to see what Jason Lee is doing month-to-date, period 8. And again, with instantly by clicking on the button, it's going to dynamically change all the information on the fly. And maybe I can deselect Jason Lee. Maybe I can deselect retail and get a sort of a rolled up consolidated view of everything. So just another view of sales data. We also have something called key sales metrics. I call this the stoplight. So we've got things like gross profit percent, month to date, year to date, quarter to date. I can look at this. Really what I'm doing, I'm looking at this. If I'm red, I'm bad. If I'm green, I'm good. If I'm yellow, I'm in the middle of my budgets, my targets. So basically I can look at this at a glance and say, okay, what scares me? This quadrant here, I can click on it, drill down and get some additional information. Okay, so this is one of I like this one a lot. This is called the variance analysis. So again, what we're seeing here at a glance is that the green are the sales rep that are doing better than prior year. Red, these are our sales reps that are doing a little worse maybe than last year. I can find out all kinds of information. Again, I've got these slicers over here for channel and region, so I can pick and choose how, you know, what I want to see. So let me select Jason Lee again, or unselect Jason Lee. But basically, what I can do is I can actually come in here and drill down and take a look at, okay, you know, by customer. I can even drill down again and look at, you know, by my product group. So again, this is called just another chart, another example of way to dice and slice your sales data. Okay, the last one I'm going to show you, and then we're going to move into really test my knowledge by going into the edit mode. But here this is a scatter plot chart. So basically, this is really cool. Power BI has a bunch of these. So we're able to load up the data, and I can just simply hit play, and it's kind of cool. It shows my sales reps, you know, what they're doing in their sales territories. But I could simply come over here and pick on somebody. So let's just finish playing. I can come over here and I can click on this sales rep here, and it's kind of cool. It's showing me their sales dynamically in the chart. All right, so basically I was a consumer. I was really interacting with the data. I was really interacting with what was already built for me. So now I'm going to step it up a little bit and go into what's called edit mode. So bear with me 1 second. Let me go to product sales. Drink of water. Okay, so basically we were in consumer mode. We're now going to go into edit mode, and let me just drag these over here. Give me a little bit more real estate. Okay, so basically, if you today are playing around with Power BI, it's going to be a lot of blank screens. You know, you're going to connect to Excel, you're going to connect to an application, and you're going to have to kind of, you know, work out all the magic. Well, we've spent thousands and thousands of hours connecting JD Edwards to Power BI with our quick launch. And again, it was that funnel graph, renaming the cat codes, the calendars and everything else. So basically, when I go into edit mode, 2 new visuals are going to pop up. So we got the visualization column and we got the field column. And I'm not going to go too deep here, but if I open up branch and I hover over branch, what we have built for you is we've done all of the, not only building out these fields with measures and different modules, but when you hover over it, for those that like to know the JD Edwards detail, you can see we're showing you here the field name and the lineage back to JD Edwards. So it's really handy if when you're building a chart. The other thing I want to point out to you is if I go down to sales and I go down to sales amount, I want to show you just some of the calculations that we have done. So if you notice, the charts before, I highlighted a lot of month to date, quarter to date, year to date. I'm doing the same thing here. But look, we've got what we've had built for you is sales amount month to date, sales amount quarter to date, year to date. I can come down here. We can look at things like sales amount versus prior year month to date. So we've done all these calculations, over 2,000 of these calculations already done for you to build a custom report or a KPI. So all of that, all those calculations are there. So I wanted to highlight that because again, you open up Power BI, you don't have that today. All right, let me just drill in a little bit here. So really very simple. I can come in here, and if I click on this heat map here, I can change this. I can change it to a pie chart. Maybe I want to change it to a pie chart. Let me maybe make it a bar chart. So let me do a bar chart there. Okay. So I'm in edit mode, like I mentioned before, and now let me show you how simple it is to actually drag some of these elements from our field list into the canvas. So let me do this. So right now, we have product subgroup and we have item description. Let me bring in channel and basically show you what happens. So I'm going to go to my customer, close up some of these things. Let me go to customer. Let me pick out channel. I'm going to simply click and drag, just like Word, and I'm just going to set this right on top of my product subgroup and my axis. And if you notice in a blink of a second, what happened was it changed the dynamics of this chart. So Bill, really what I wanted to show you, by just dragging and dropping the field, it's going to dramatically change the drill path. So now when I want to drill down on this, it'll go from channel, product subgroup, to item and description. And I can go crazy. I can drag in all kinds of information, but because of time, I'm going to just carry on. Okay, so let me get my creative juices flowing here and really test my limits. Okay, so basically we showed you a couple simple things. I changed some graphs. I added a slicer to dynamically change that last graph. Let's test me here a little bit. Let's start with a blank canvas. So I'm going to hit this plus screen. It's going to bring me to a blank canvas, and now I can do anything I want. But what I want to see is my year-to-date sales by product group. So how do I do that? So I'm going to go to my I'm going to drag in my sales amount year-to-date. So I got to go find that. So let me go to my sales. Clean this up a little bit. Let me go to my sales. Let me go to my sales amount, open sales, and let me go to my sales amount year to date. Here it is, and I'm going to simply drag it into my canvas, okay? Drag it in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my product group. So I'm going to go to item. Again, it's already built out for you here. I'm going to go down to product group, and everything's in alphabetical order, so it's pretty easy. And within 2 clicks, I've got my sales amount and product group. And but now my question is, for what period? I mean, is this, month to date, year to date? What is this? I don't know. So let's go find out. So how do I do that? Let me go to my calendar. So if I open up calendar, and let's see, I am going to go to my year period. So I'm going to go to my year period. I'm going to drag this into the calendar. Now this is probably one of the coolest things that I've ever seen. So we go here, we drag in our calendar, and I'm going to go to this little icon in my visualization called a slicer. This slicer now turns this into a dynamic sort of a calculator. And just for demonstration purposes, let me go down to 2019. Let's go down to period 8. So if I click on this, you will notice it dynamically changes this chart here. I can go 2019 period 7. Again, it dynamically changes things. So again, just another way to what I've showed you there quickly, if you're in sales, is quickly a year-to-date sales by product group. I've added a slicer so we can dynamically change the filter. All right. So let me show you one more cool thing, two more cool things. If I take this and I, just like Word, Control C to copy, Control V to paste, and I can pull this over into my canvas here. Let me just clean this up just a little bit here. Okay. So now I can take this graph and I can go back to my visualizations and I can change it into anything I want, but let's change it into a pie chart. Now, what do I want to see here? Well, let me just bring in sales reps. So let me go to customer. Let me clean up some of this here. Let me go to customer. Let me bring in sales rep. And here it is. Let me bring this into my legend here. And oops, do it again. All right. So bring it into my legend here. And now what I'm able to do, what is real, oh, sorry, it didn't work. Here it is, sales rep. Let me bring my sales rep above product group. All right. So basically what I'm able to do now is click on Robert O'Neill. And as I do that, you can see how it dynamically is changing the chart to the left. So I can come back over here. I can pick on Jason Lee. So I can basically pick on any sales rep and it's going to dynamically change this chart. Again, just another example of, of the dynamics of the drill down capability of Power BI and Quick Launch. All right, I'm going to really push the boat out here today. You guys have maybe have heard of narratives or natural language query. Well, natural language query is there's a lot of hype in the visualization space, and basically all it really means is it's going to drill down and read the data back to you. So let me show you how to walk through a quick presentation on how we're going to do this. All right, so the first thing I want to point out is on my visualization, I've got an icon here. If I hover over it, it's going to tell me what it is. This is my narrative for Power BI. We've already downloaded it earlier, but very similar to your iPhone or your Android, there's apps you can download. Same thing with Power BI. There's all kinds of applications, and narratives just happens to be one of those. So if I click on this here, and it's going to actually go into my report and it's going to start mining the data. But let's make this, let me walk you through setting this up. So I click on the paint roller and I want to click on narratives, and I want to come down here to structure because I want my data in a bullet list. Okay, I don't want it to just be lengthy paragraphs. And I'm going to come over here and I'm going to say write narratives. So what I'm looking at here is Robert O'Neill, total sales amount year to date, 1.1 million across 4 subcategories. David Williams, total sales year to date, 721 across all 4 subcategories. Maybe not as intuitive as I want it. So I am going to simply click the wheel, and let me just do some editing here. So I'm going to come over here and I want to clean some things up. I want to first make sales rep singular. So we're going to do sales rep. Oh, thanks for auto fixing. I'm going to come out here and make this plural, sales reps. Okay. All right. Next thing I'm going to do is, let me just clean up product group very quickly. So I'm going to do same thing. I'm going to do product group, and I'm going to come over here and do product groups. Okay, very quickly. Spell it wrong. Groups. All right. And one more thing. The last thing I'm going to do is, sorry, here it is, calculations. The last thing I want to do is I want to go to money, because I'm in sales. We're collecting money. We're working with money. More money is good. And that's enough for now. Click my button here. And basically what I did is I just tidied up some things. But this report, again, it's gone out and mined the data in my chart, and it's fixed some things here. So if I look again at Robert O'Neill, total sales amount, 1.1 million across 4 product groups, representing 23% of the total sales amount. So again, really what I want to share with you, very high level, how easy it is to create a natural language query so that once you deploy this, it will read the data back to you. How cool is that? And I could do a lot of different things here. I could bring in other fields, and we could make this a broader search, but for time today, I'm not going to do that. The other thing we could do here is we could actually download this to a PowerPoint, or more importantly, I could actually pin this to a dashboard like I showed you earlier. All right, so that's really a quick example of going through my sales. The next thing I want to go into is I'm going to put on my financial hat. So let me go in here. Let me go back to workspaces. And again, all of this is what you're looking at is quick launch. So all of these perspectives, accounts payable, accounts receivable, all of this has been added, with the quick launch solution. So I'm going to go down here and let me go to GL. So if I click on General Ledger, and just give it a second. All right, I'm going to click on my dashboard. And again, now I have a GL dashboard. I am not a finance resource. I'm in the sales. So let me try to show you from a sort of a sales perspective what I'm looking at here. So again, this is really a sort of a balance sheet income statement. So I've got all kinds of information here. And again, it could be yellow, red. I might be interested if it's yellow or red. But let's just click in and drill in. So I've got some key metrics here. So I've got really at a glance, same slicers. Maybe I'm looking at revenue month to date, quarter to date, some of my goals year to date. I could look at revenue, another chart, and I could look at, this is revenue by product, but it could be revenue by anything that you want us to help you set up. Here in gross profit, I've got another sample scatter chart. We could hover over these things, and this box that pops up is called a tooltip. I should have pointed it out earlier. Basically, it's telling me, hey, this is a high dollar, high margin item. So this could be some, again, at a glance, some really key information. But let me go into expenses because, not everybody has a sort of a revenue, bottom line or revenue, quota. But let me just quickly explain what we're seeing here in this graph. This is a really, really exciting graph. Tells us a lot of information with just one slide. So very quickly, this number here, let me see here. Let me just go to period 9 for a minute, dynamically change this. All right, so as that recalculates, this basically what we're looking at here is the 7.4 million is basically our year-to-date actual amount. The little numbers underneath here, if you squint hard enough, the 6.32 is actually year-to-date budget, and the 6.38 is actually our prior year actual. What is this telling me? So at a quick glance for the finance people, how am I doing year-to-date in my expenses compared to my budget in prior year? Boom. How quick are you getting that information? This is really, really cool, this projected. This calculation doesn't exist in JD Edwards. This is 100% completely custom to Quick Launch. So this is something that we custom developed. What are we seeing here? What we're seeing here is that this $9.7 million, we're actually taking the first 9 months of our actuals, and we're taking the remaining 3 months of our budget. And if I hit my goal, I'm going to be at a whopping 9.7 million in expenses. And let me break this down a little bit further. The 8.6 here is our total year budget, and the 8.7 is telling me that we're actually 1 million over our prior year actuals. So it's not very good. Obviously, that's why everything's in bright red. But again, at a glance, we can see where we are in our financials, our expenses. Just like I did in sales, I can consume the data like I'm doing now, I can simply click on this icon called Edit Report. Let me give myself a little bit of little room here. Let me expand this a little bit. Let me just kind of point out a couple more things. Let me go to GL Balance Detail and just show you some of the cool things that we've done. So if I expand that and I go down to some account measures, I want to go to revenue. Where are we? I want to go down to, sorry, I get sometimes I can't find, I'm trying to navigate my way around finance. I'm better in sales. So if I go to revenue and I go to actual amount, here we go, actual amount. Basically what I want to show you here is that same type of slicers. We've got actual amount, month to date, quarter to date, year to date, and again, all kinds of different variances. So I can dice and slice my financials any way I want to. And again, everything I'm sharing with you, this is all about self-service reporting. I no longer have to make a phone call down to finance to see what's up with my expenses. I don't have to go into JD Edwards and now I have to know the object codes. I have to know some of the detail there. So I know we're running out of time. I want to show you a couple more really cool things. If you've ever tried to create an as of aging report, it's very, very difficult to do. Again, I'm not a finance resource. I'm not technical. I know that doing an as of is very, very difficult. Let me show you, I'm a sales guy. Let me show you in 6 clicks how to create an as of. So what am I going to do here? First, I want to go to data. I'm going to go to get data, and I'm going to go analysis services, and I'm going to just put in my credentials quickly. So I got the right server. Hit next. Okay. So couple really key items that I want to point out here, make crystal clear. I'm connected Excel to my tabular model. So my Power BI is connected to the model. My Excel is connected to the model. In a minute, we'll talk about reporting services, but right now I'm in Excel. And the really cool thing is it doesn't matter how large this Excel spreadsheet is, column-wise or data-wise. It doesn't matter because if the data lives in our tabular model, I am not exporting or downloading a separate Excel file. This is, again, connected to the model. We separate payroll for security reasons. Not everybody can have access to payroll. So we come in here. I'm going to select my standard tabular model, my standard model. What pops up are all the same perspectives that you've seen in the past. You've seen AR, AP, GL, sales. In my Power BI tool, you're seeing the same perspectives here. I can do anything here that I can do in Power BI. I could go into job costs. I can go into inventory. But because I promised to show you how I'm going to create a sales guy, is going to create an as of AR. I'm going to go down to AR, accounts receivable. We like money. So I'm going to hit next. All right. So hit finish. All right. So basically what I'm creating is a power pivot on steroids. Next thing that's going to pop up is my toolbar. All right, let me expand this so I can get a little bit more real estate here. Okay, so basically what I want to show you is how to create an as of AR by aging. So first thing I want to do is I'm going to select my customer name. So let me come down here and find my my customer name. So clean this up a little bit. Bear with me just a second. All right, customer name. Here we go. Customer name, where are you? Customer name, here we go. All right, I'm going to pull this into my rows. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I need some amounts. I'm going to go to my accounts receivable amounts. Let me go up here. Let me open this and AR amount. So I'm going to grab this here and bring this over to my. I'm going to open this up. And I'm going to come down here and find my, I can report on all kinds of things, but I want to bring in my GL date. So I think I did that wrong. So I want to bring in my GL date into value. All right. The next thing I'm going to do, look, third click, I want to go to my aging band for AR. So let me do that, my aging band. So let me go to my aging band AR and bring this into my column. All right, I'm almost there. Look, 3 clicks. We have already found our companies, and now everything's calculating over 150 days. That's not good enough. I want to go back in time 6 months and look at my as of. So how do I do that? So let me go to my calendar aging. Let me go calendar aging. Here it is, and let me go to my year period. Come down here to year period. I'm going to right click on this, and just like we did with Power BI, I'm going to select Slicer. And now when the Slicer window pops up, I'm able to go back in time. So let's pick 2017 period 6, just because we can. So I'm going to click on this, and again, it now is starting to show a lot of information here. So basically, we can see our companies, and we have a little bit more detail. And if I'm just doing a quick glance at this, the first thing that pops out at me is this 953, almost $1 million in receivables. That scares me. I want to know why my customer has $1 million liability. So let me do this. Let me go down. Let me find 2 more clicks. Let me go to accounts receivable. So let me go to accounts receivable, and 1 second. I don't do this every single day. Here, accounts receivable, and let me find the document number. So here we go, document number. All right, I'm going to drag this into my rows. Okay. So now I'm going to come in here. I'm just going to clean this up a little bit. If I right click and I collapse this, I can have a kind of a better view at what I'm doing. So now I can come in here and I can look at my $953, and I can simply right click on this, show details. What this is going to do, because the Excel is connected to our model, it's doing a live query back to my model, and it's bringing back the data. So this is really the inquiry screens on steroids, we say. So now you can actually see all the details, what makes up that almost $1 million. Hey, for a sales guy, 6 clicks, I've created an as of aging. I know we're running out of time. The last thing I want to show you guys is our SSRS. Again, not getting technical, but it's part of the SQL licensing. It's called reporting services, and that's where we deliver our pixel perfect income statements and balance sheets. So I had opened up our reporting services screen a little while ago. So I can pick on things like income statement. I can do all kinds of things. Let me just open up my balance sheet. So while that is loading, I'm going to clean this up a little bit. Let me open this up to a little bit larger of a view. So again, a consolidated balance sheet. What am I seeing here? I got assets, current assets. I got some liabilities. I got some liabilities there. What do I want to look at? Let me look at the first thing that sort of pops out at my eyes here is what makes up this $3 million. I can simply click on the inventory and expand that, and I can sort of, start to see what makes up inventory. $72,000. Boy, what's that all about? Let me click and expand this a little bit further. And now I've got what is exposed here is a way to drill down, again, without going back into JD Edwards. I want to know a little bit more specifically what makes up this $70,000. I can simply click on this here, and it's going to, again, bring me down, and a lot, just like, it's going to bring me down a lot like, instead of going into your account ledger inquiry, you can get all the detail here. So you got document number, we have explanations. And again, just a kind of a real quick drill down of our financials, just to show you how easy it is to answer your own questions. And again, this is all about self-service reporting. So basically, I've walked you through KPIs, some sales and consumer mode. I went into edit mode to do a little bit of ad hoc reporting. I showed you a little bit about natural query. I created an as of aging in 6 or 8 clicks. I hope you didn't count. And I've gone into our financials just to show you kind of a high level what's happening with our balance sheets, income statements, and how easy it is to drill down and again, get the information quickly without having to bother finance, without having to go into JD Edwards. So this really completes my my day in the life of how I use Quick Launch. I want to go over to my my PowerPoint slide here and just kind of wrap up. So a couple more slides, if I can find my slide. So let me just open up this. So what I want to close out today is just a couple things. What we deem as road to success. When you call me up and you want to implement Quick Launch over your JD Edwards, I want to just share with you that we've created the database views. That's the plumbing. It gets you 40% to the end game. So we've done things like fiscal calendars. We've defined your code, subledgers. Our tabular model, this is the in-memory model I kept talking about over and over. This is what really gives us the power of pulling the data out of JD Edwards. Again, this gets you 75% of the way down the road. This is where the time-based measures, the KPIs and things live. And then of course, our pre-canned Power BI reports will get you 90% of the way. So again, these are our sample reports that I walked you through in sales, in GL, quick access to the data, dashboards. And really the only piece that's missing here is everybody has some custom tables, some custom ads. Maybe you want to add Salesforce or something custom to the model, and we will, we'll talk about that in your specking out your implementation. So really implementation timeline. We've spent thousands and thousands of hours and years developing Quick Launch. So this actually, the software is installed in less than a week, and it's configured for a direct connect in about 4 weeks. If you want to go with our data warehouse, you're looking at about 6 weeks. But really what this is sharing is that it's a very fast implementation. Our customers are interacting with the data in an average of 4 weeks. So in a traditional BI, maybe it's a year or longer with a lot of project bleed and overruns. We don't have that with Quick Launch. So I hope you guys learned a lot of really cool things from a sales guy. I want to thank you very much for hanging in there with me. If you've got any questions, please type them in, or my contact details are down below. I'm going to pass it back to Brooke.
Hey, Joe, thank you so much. That was great. I just want to cover a few follow-up items, and then we'll move into our question and answer section of our webcast. All right. Can you see my screen okay?
Not yet.
Yeah, not yet? Okay. All right. So our webcast today is a part of, you can see it? Okay, thanks, Joe. Our webcast today is part of GSI's free ongoing educational webcast series for JD Edwards, and our upcoming webcasts are currently listed on the screen. And to view our most up-to-date schedule, it changes every day, so go to getgsi.com/webcasts. And we provide extensive free educational resources for the JD Edwards community on our weekly educational webcasts, our monthly newsletter called the GSI Insider, online resource center where you can access our on-demand webcasts, white papers, and so much more. And we also offer on-site and virtual workshops. If you'd like to sign up for our weekly email reminders or upcoming webcasts or our monthly newsletter, or to create an account to access our resource center, go to getgsi.com, go to platforms on the main menu, and select the platform on the left. All right, well, I see we have a few questions here, and I would like to remind everybody that if you would still like to submit a question, you can do so using the questions panel in the GoToWebinar console window on the right side of your screen. And if you minimized your console earlier, please click the left-facing arrow key to redisplay the questions panel. Okay, Joe, and I know we've got Adam here too. I have a few questions, and our first question is from Brad, and he says, can you support custom tables?
Adam, you want to take that, or you want me to take that? Okay. Custom tables, absolutely. Like I showed you.
Oh, Adam, sorry, Adam was muted. He's back now.
Oh, sorry. Go, Adam, go ahead.
Do you want me to take it? Okay. Yeah, so 80% of the time we get a new install, there's always custom tables. Every customer has them. We encourage that. We actually, as part of our knowledge transfer, show customers how they can pull in custom tables into the model, whether that's in JD Edwards or outside of JD Edwards. So yeah, that's a yes, supported and encouraged.
Okay, great. Our next question is from Mark, and he says, do I need a data warehouse?
Joe, you want me to take that one too?
Yes, please.
Okay. So everything that Joe demonstrated today in the live demonstration, it was not using a data warehouse at all. However, we could have actually done the exact same demo over our warehouse, and you wouldn't have been able to tell a difference. The key there is the model, the SQL Server Analysis Services in-memory data model or tabular model. It's still, we put that in front of the data warehouse or Direct Connect or ODS. So that's what everybody's connecting to. So customers that do want a data warehouse, we have a packaged data warehouse that can be a starting point. We then load the model from the data warehouse, and then Power BI is connected to that, or Excel or reporting services. But all the thousands of measures and KPIs that live in our data model are the same with or without the data warehouse. So traditional BI, years ago, yes, almost everybody had a data warehouse. And now with modern BI, and now with even Quick Launch, it's 50% of the customers of ours go Direct Connect, 25% go with an ODS, and 25% go with a data warehouse.
Great. Thank you so much, Adam. And I have one more question here. And our question is from Margaret, and she says, do you have financial statements?
Yes, and I think Joe touched on those a little bit. We didn't get a chance to really go through them all, but there's a few different ways to handle that. We have a Power BI on top of the GL that has all of those same elements and measures and KPIs that are part of a traditional income statements and balance sheets and other related KPIs. So Power BI, we can build out financial reports in Excel, but if you want the true formatted, because you got financials, debits, and credits, the web-based version that would showed a little bit on the end in the balance sheet with reporting services is actually part of that. So, so if you want a traditional drillable financial income statement or balance sheet over the web, we deliver those as part of our package. Just checkbox if you want to include those or not.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much, Adam. And thank you, Joe, for your presentation. And that appears to be the end of our questions today. And as a follow-up from today's webcast, we ask that you complete a short 1-minute survey when you exit, and you will be receiving an email with a link to our resource center on our website where you can access the recording from today's webcast, as well as a copy of the presentation. And after today's webcast, we will do the drawing for the $25 Amazon gift card for anyone that attended the entire webcast will be eligible, and we will notify the winner. And if you do have any follow-up questions, you can get in contact with Joe or myself, and we will make sure that we get back to you, and our contact info is currently listed on the screen. And we thank you so much for attending the presentation today, and thank you so much again to Joe and Adam, and we hope that you guys have a great day.
Thanks, Brooke. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.